When we feel deeply uncertain and we don't know what to do, it can be easy to try and find answers in the world around us, scrolling inside our own mind. When this video shows up, you're going through a significant time of unknowing. If you choose to tune in for the next few minutes, I'm going to offer you a few points of clarity to help you orient yourself right here, even if you're still not certain what step to take next. So, I'm Danielle Lynn, and I speak with people at significant change points in their lives. Now, wherever this message finds you, there is a few key things to understand. Even if you are experiencing a particularly shifting, tumultuous feeling time right now, you are still a very empowered, powerful creator of your reality. I'll say this. Anyone who gets this message, you are a magician. Okay, I'm just going to be blunt with you. Anyone who gets this message is a magician. And please feel invited to replace magician with one who is a creator and basically wields the ability to work with any and all of the elements of this reality. Okay, but you don't have to prove it anymore. This is not about like, here's my wand. I gotta show you guys how I'm a magician. You are. If you are operating from that authentic inner authority, knowing that you don't have to prove to yourself or anyone else that you are this, then what would you start guiding your energy and attention towards? Even if you have been doing it, but maybe older projects aren't quite resonating for you anymore, or maybe you've just arrived at a certain completion point with some of them, or maybe there's a shift to make right now. So one of the first things I'm going to point out to you is before and after anything else, this is the time to really anchor in to your own inner authority. Anytime that you feel tilted, you are going to more likely be drawn towards external answers and external reasons, especially when you're in unknowing. The thing about that is this is a subtle way that we're attempting to bypass the sitting in stillness or the sitting in unknowing, the discomfort of unknowing. And so the next time, whether it's right now or just the next time it comes up, the next time that you feel a certain level of discomfort, that you want to know an answer and that you imagine knowing the answer will make things feel better, I invite you to consider this experiment instead. The experiment is notice the urge and draw you have to open YouTube, to find a card reading, to find information. Observe it. Instead of actually clicking on something, talk to your inner self. Say, hey, right now I was looking for some kind of validation because I feel really uncomfortable being in unknowing. What's your guidance for me right now? Take some breaths in, and then you're listening. Now, an answer may not pop up at first. In fact, you might simply be breathing for a little bit, feeling, sensing, listening. And if you notice yourself getting impatient in that moment, realize that there's still a part of you looking for an answer. But even though you're offering a query, you're offering a question of sorts to your inner self, if an answer doesn't immediately come, and sometimes it does, but if it doesn't immediately come, consider that an invitation to go ahead and move forward with a current step in your life, knowing that the answer will emerge for you, but it's not emerging right now. And what this does is this puts you in active yet receptive mode. It's neither a forcing of an answer, but it's also not a suppressing of your inner wisdom. This represents the state of both being and doing, the feminine and masculine intermix within you. It represents trusting your own inner authority above anything else that would be reflected outside of you. And in the very beginning, again, might feel uncomfortable. A lot of times, the things that we're looking for answers for on some level, the things that we believe, if I just know this, I would fix that. If I just know this, I would fix that. That in of itself is usually a cycle or pattern in which we are trying to find resolution for an inner circuitry active within us through playing it out externally. So when you start and root within, one of the first things you're doing is you're actually switching that circuitry. You're making one of the first steps in pattern shifting. Even without trying to fix something, you are on the trajectory of reclaiming your energy from an outdated pattern. Now, beyond that, let's say you start with the inner authority, you explore the question, and you're still very tense. You're like, well, how do I focus on anything else? So at this juncture, one of the things that I learned is a lot of times we are re-inhabiting our body. So when we have a very developed mental, emotional, energetic, psychic kind of space in our lives, there's a chance that we might not be fully inhabiting our body. I kind of compare it to like if your whole body's a house and you've been like living in the second floor, but you've kind of temporarily boarded off the bottom floor. You just kind of run through there quickly to get in and out of the door. And coming back into one's body isn't a mental game. It's something that you viscerally, physically engage with. It's one of the reasons why yoga, tantra, walking, movement in general has become incredibly popular, I would say, over the last several years, is because it represents a landing and a rerouting within ourselves, within our body, within our space. Some of us may have what we could refer to as patterns of pain, patterns of challenge. They could be ancestral, they could be from our own lives. Now, I'm going to invite you to explore this with me. These patterns are rooted in repeated story. That doesn't mean that they don't have energy or that you must ignore them or bypass them, but the patterns are kept alive through repeated story. Let's just look at it functionally. And so part of each person's journey is to explore how you integrate or work with that story. For some people, it can be as immediate as understanding it's a story and it's integrated. For others, it might be a whole inner journey. It could be you doing shadow work through Dungeons and Dragons, or moving your body with a somatic therapist, or going through all kinds of inner discovery. It doesn't take time, but it simply takes whatever it takes for your specific experience. And without getting attached to what it takes or what it has to take, you actually allow for the most effective, expedient, and maybe even enjoyable version of your journey, which is why we don't compare our journeys to anyone else. It's also one of the reasons why I offer perspectives and I say to you, hey, use your own discernment, because what may work super well for me and this person and that person may not be quite for you. But maybe this piece is. Or maybe you are the one that discovers a completely new modality that we all get very excited about applying. And this, once again, is why the inner authority is so profoundly powerful. What I'll simply say is there is this call at this time. I'm going to call it like a call for resonant action, a call for shifting from directing your energy in a way that needed to achieve results into a more inner authority grounded, I'm rooting within myself and I am willing to meet those answers, and I'm not going to keep trying to force timelines to come forward for those answers to come forward, and begin to operate in a timeless way. This is the shift from impatience. When we're impatient, we want reality to work on our schedule. When you start operating in timelessness, you start operating in a completely new way, because you understand that the energy that you are embodying isn't about trying to force it to work. It's an is. And then you just get to listen and apply the steps as they unfold. It's a completely different kind of authority, and it is yours. It is yours. It is mine. It is each of ours who is remembering this. And so, once again, this video is arriving right now to both reflect to you this remembering of your inner authority, to invite you into new resonant relationship with your sense of unknowing, to highlight for you the heart, gut, mind connection that you've already been nurturing. And if there was one more that I would point out at this time, would be remembering how to walk. And this might sound like a funny thing, remembering how to walk, but I'm talking about how you move through life, being very connected to the way you move your hips, being very connected to the way the feet touch the floor, or if you move a different way through life, then how you move through life, being aware of what within you is the impetus for you to move forward. And start with physically, basic, viscerally. Simply be aware of how you walk and make that a thing that you observe and connect with in your life, if you so choose, as an experiment. This is, in a lot of ways, what I myself have been revisiting. And I've revisited a few times how to walk in life. But there's a lot of times that we upgrade these things for ourselves. We remember in new ways. One of the things that I'll mention as well, whenever this is connecting with you, there are, at least in my corner of the world, there are new portals that I am opening up for those who are ready to walk intentionally. Now, one of such is in the Self Alchemy Lab, and I would really invite you to check that if that's something that's been calling you, or if it's just something that feels alive for you right now. Check your inner authority first. And additionally, I'm simply going to say that wherever you move and navigate from here, you have a very powerful team, support, and inner guidance alive in you at this time. It's okay to have challenges. That doesn't make you any less powerful. All the same, please remember that part of the balance of living in this reality comes from not only existing up here, but allowing yourself to really root within in whatever way that looks resonant for you. I continue to appreciate you, my friend, and all the ways we connect together. Once again, if you'd like to go further, please be invited to check my description link, and I look forward to our next connection.